So we have a very important topic for today. I believe all of you know about this. Significators. Vedic astrology, there are many type of significators. And so I thought that people are not able to understand the difference between house lord and significators. The prime topic. So as per my understanding, see, significator is, take it into this way. A significator is told as Karak. Karak, there is a particular saying I used to say it in my Hindi videos. Now, though people have copied it as well. That's not a concern. Earlier YouTube videos, you will find it 4 or 5 years ago. Nowadays, in astrological magazines, you will read, you will also find that people have blatantly copied this principle of mine without giving the credit. This is how these thieves are. Still, कर्ता ने कर्म को right कारक के द्वारा, just saying in Hindi, right? This is basic Hindi grammar rule. So Karak means, Karak comes from the word Karan, right? Karan means the reason, root reason. Or Karak should also mean the doer, right? The one who does the thing. So Karak is, for example, say marriage, significator for marriage is Venus. So Venus is the reason why we marry, right? Venus is the Karak. Venus is the reason. Now, reason for people will be different, right? Some people marry for companionship, some people may marry for stability, some people may marry for enjoyment, whatever it will be. But that will be seen with respect to Karak, right? So influences over Venus will let you know why you are marrying, right? What is the reason behind marriage? And you have to make sure that that particular reason, whatever is signified by Venus, is also fulfilled. Otherwise, marital life will be dissatisfactory because this was your reason for marriage. For example, you say if Venus goes into Leo, it is a Rashi of Sun, and Sun indicates self-respect. Sun indicates honor. So you are marrying for self-respect, you are marrying for honor. If that is not fulfilled from marriage, if there is no significant upliftment in lifestyle after marriage, if the honor, etc., is not increased after marriage, person will feel dissatisfied. I have just given you example with respect to one Rashi, right? But other Rashis and influence of other planets should also be understood in this particular way. For example, say the same result will go with Sun also, right? One wants stability. Sun have multiple significations as we will see. And from the significations and house lordship, you can also take into consideration for every planet, we will see the significations. That particular thing is needed in marriage, right? So Sun is connected to Venus, appreciation, self-respect, confidence. You want your spouse to give it to you, right? The person needs an assuring spouse. The person needs a spouse who provides them confidence, right? Otherwise, they will feel unhappy. If moon is connected to Venus, moon is emotion, right? So they need an emotionally understanding spouse. If Mars is connected to Venus, they want a spouse who is ready to fight for them. If Mercury is connected to Venus, one wants a spouse who is like a friend. When Venus is connected to Jupiter, one wants a spouse who is intelligent, who is learned, who is dharmic, who is spiritual. When Saturn is connected to Venus, one needs a partner who can complement them in their miseries, right? Their concept will be, right, that my partner will be with me in my hard times, and only then they deserve to enjoy in my good times also. When Rahu is connected to Venus, one wants a life partner who is clever. And when Ketu is connected to Venus, one generally wants a life partner who is detached from everyone else, but attached to the native only. Right. So basic point is that Karak is the reason why you do something. And if that is not fulfilled, you feel dissatisfied. Take profession. Mercury indicates profession. Now the type of planet connected with Mercury tells you what you desperately want in your profession. Sun, name, fame, status. Moon, emotional, mental stability. Mars, power position, right? Jupiter, prosperity, fortune. Venus, comforts you want. Saturn, rulership over people you want. Rahu, you want your authority, distinctive place. And Ketu, you just want to escape from. Ketu connected to Mercury is generally like, I just feel bored. So I want to do something, so this is what I am doing in this particular way, right? First of all, Karak is the reason, right? So this is one point. For things such as marriage, etc., where there are two types of people, one is girlfriend relationship, boyfriend, that is Venus. Spouse is seventh house, seventh lord. But this distinction I can only make with respect to Venus. Certainly, I cannot make it with respect to other karakas, right? But that is another role that the karak takes on. So karak is the reason why you do it. Karak tells you what you actually want from the thing. Karak is also the differentiating factor, right, between like girlfriend and wife type of differentiation factor. Also, Karak tells you the same, right? So, say Mercury is the Karak for 10th house, right? Mercury is the Karak for profession. So, actual 10th house, 10th lord will indicate the actual profession that the native does, but planets connected to Mercury, the Rashi occupied by Mercury, the house occupied by Mercury will indicate the other thing, other hobby that the person is very much interested in. In this particular scenario, don't take 10th house to be profession, but rather take the 10th house to indicate karmas, right? So then there will be a better analysis. This was another point. And lastly, no, not lastly, another thing is that Karak is the concept. Why Venus is the significator for marriage? Because whatever Venus signifies is what you actually want from marriage, right? Prosperity. So Hindu concept is wife is Lakshmi, husband is Vishnu, right? Venus represents that. People marry for reproduction, people marry for companionship. This is what Venus indicates. Sorry, not Mercury. This is what Venus indicates, right? So the societal concept of anything is signified by the Karak. For example, sun is the king and sun also indicates authority, right? So it's not. So what is the epitome of authority? The epitome of authority is kingship, kingdom, right? Superiority. One can be authoritative on a smaller scale. One can be authoritative on a higher scale. That depends on the type of the horoscope the native is having, right? But what is the end result of name, fame, status, authority, right? That is power, that is kingdom, that is kingship. And this is what the significator signifies, right? So one more thing one more thing, and the most prime thing with respect to significator is that how much that point is met. For example, wife brings spouse is supposed to bring, spouse is supposed to be Lakshmi or Vishnu for you, right? Spouse is supposed to bring prosperity for you. Spouse is the one who will make the home home. Spouse is the one who will make the home beautiful. These are all the societal concepts of spouse, and this is all signified by Venus. So only when Venus is powerful, this concept is fulfilled. Only when Venus is powerful, spouse is actually godly. Spouse actually makes the home home. Spouse is actually, you actually enjoy with spouse. Otherwise, you don't do, right? So this is also very important thing to understand. And basically, the method of analysis is sun indicates power, authority. If the sun is powerful, one have power and authority. If the sun is not powerful, one don't have power and authority, right? This is all the different things that the significator does. Societal concept and all of these things. On the other hand, house lord is very personal concept, right? House lord is very personally you. So whereas Venus is signifying how much prosperity, when Venus is powerful, it will indicate a spouse comes with a lot of prosperity. When Venus is weak, it indicates a spouse does not bring prosperity. Seventh Lord, when seventh Lord is powerful, it will indicate spouse is powerful. Spouse is powerful in her personal life, right? Whether they bring that power to you or not is the point, right? So significator Venus indicates whether spouse brings you the power, right? Whereas seventh lord indicates whether the spouse is separately in her own behalf powerful or not, right? So when you have to see the spouse as wife or husband, you see the seventh lord, but when you want to see them as an individual, you see the significator. This is the basic difference between these two. We will understand this difference more when we understand different type of karakas, right? So particularly for this, like I do with every of my course, particularly for this video, I have made some special PDF, right? You see, first of all, there is Bhava Karaka, right? The significator of houses. First house is signified by Sun. Second house is signified by Jupiter. Third house is signified by Mars. Fourth house is signified by Moon and Mercury generally, but only Moon is taken at some places also, right? So Moon is an important Karak. Fifth house is signified by Jupiter. Sixth house is signified by Saturn and Mars. Mars is the primary Karak. Saturn is the secondary one. Seventh house is signified by Venus. Eighth house by Jupiter. Ninth house is signified by Sun and Jupiter, of which Sun is the primary Karak. Sorry, of which Jupiter is the primary Karak because ninth house is primarily fortune. Sun is taken as a Karak because he indicates father, but that's secondary, right? 10th house is signified by Mercury, Sun, Jupiter, Saturn. Primary Karak is Mercury, others are secondary Karak. 11th house is signified by Jupiter, and 12th house is signified by Saturn. So, while analyzing a house, we analyze house, house lord, and significator, all three, right? So, you say a house is having 100% strength. A house should have 100% of strength. Now you have three factors: house, lord of the house, and significator. So if you divide 100 by 3, it will be 33 something something. Right? 33.33. Now, all of these three factors, house, house lord, significator, can be either weak or afflicted. Now, this 33.33, if you divide it into 2, it will be 16.66 each. So, if the house, house lord, and significator are powerful, right? Opposite of weak is powerful, and opposite of afflicted is the planet is healthy, influenced by benefics, etc. When the planet becomes afflicted, by being influenced by malefics, etc. Opposite of it is healthy when the planet is influenced by beneficial planets, etc. So when house lord significator is powerful and healthy, they contribute complete 33.33 percent points. When they are either powerful or either healthy, then they only contribute 16.66 percent point each. And when they are neither powerful nor healthy, instead they are weak or afflicted, they contribute 0% of point. Now for prosperity of any house, you want the house to be more than 50% powerful at least. This is prime setup. This is how primarily the significator is used, right? It is used to analyze the house along with the house lord, right? So if the house and house lord, both of them are in a good situation, because the point will already be 66.66%, you can ignore the Karak also. But the primary uses of Karak comes in when one factor is good and another factor is not. Then you have to consider the significator 100% of the time. Because if you don't do, the analysis will not be complete, right? So in house analysis point, I strongly recommend that in house analysis, house lord and house analysis itself is enough. The significator should not be included initially. But if there is a point of confusion, only then significator should also be included. This is to say, if there are malefics in the ascendant, or if there are malefics afflicting the ascendant, aspecting the ascendant, etc., you know that ascendant is going into a bad situation. Now, along with checking the ascendant lord, also check the significator sun. If sun is in good situation and Lagna lord is also in good situation, then despite the ascendant being afflicted, person will be healthy. But if sun is also afflicted and ascendant is also afflicted, then single ascendant lord going into a good situation cannot save it. This way it should be understood, right? So primarily the significator puts a third point in your perspective, and as I always say, take odd number of factors, because if you take even number of factors, even number of factor means two factor, right? If you only analyze house, house lord, one can be in a good situation, one can be in a bad situation, result will be tie, result will be mixed, but you cannot predict a tie result, right? So always include odd number of factors. So by inclusion of significator, it will become three factors, and that will help you in the analysis, right? This is the primary uses. These are house significators. Then There are other type of significators, right? House significator, house is known as Bhava, right? So this is known as Bhava Karaka. Then there is another type of Karak, right? That is known as Sthira Karaka. Sthira Karaka means fixed Karak. Fixed means what here? Is the Karak fixed? As in, this planet who is becoming the significator, this planet which is becoming the Karak will always remain the Karak? Is it this way? Right? Because Sthira means fixed, right? As I just told you. It's not the case, right? If you look at Sthira Karak, you will come to find out that, you see, one planet between Sun or Venus becomes the Sthira Karak for father. So this particular point, that Sthira Karak means fixed Karak, and whoever planet is Sthira Karak will always remain the Karak, is not entirely true, right? It is partially true only, because who will become the Karak itself is not fixed, right? So one between Sun or Venus will become the significator of father, one between Moon and Mars will become the significator of mother, right? Mars will become the significator of sister, brother, and sister-in-law, sister, brother-in-law, and sister-in-law, and sister-brother both. Mercury becomes Sthira Karak for maternal uncle and aunt. Jupiter is Sthira Karak for child and grandparents. Venus is Sthira Karak for mother-in-law, father-in-law, and maternal grandparents. Now, in this Sthira Karak, there is two opinions. One opinion is that stronger between Sun and Venus will indicate father, stronger between Moon and Mars will indicate mother, and so on and so forth. So, one opinion is the opinion of stronger. This is one setup. And another setup is for day birth. Sun indicates the father, and out of Moon and Mars, Sun indicates the father, and Venus indicates the mother. This is one opinion. For the night birth, Saturn becomes the father and Moon becomes the mother. This is another opinion. It is slightly different. Rest other significators remain the same. So for what happens for night birth, because because Saturn is father, Sun becomes relative of father, right? Paternal uncle, etc. And because Moon is mother, Venus becomes maternal aunts, uncles. For day birth, because Sun is father, Saturn becomes maternal uncle aunt, and because Venus is mother, Moon becomes maternal uncle aunt, right? This particular setup, this is one setup, right? Based on day or night birth, day versus night birth, right? This is setup number 2, and setup number 1 was based on which is stronger between the two planets, right? So stronger between Venus or Sun, and so on and so forth. Based on the stronger opinion, longevity is find out. So between Sun or Venus, who is powerful? Whichever planet is powerful, that planet becomes the significator of father, and between Moon and Mars, whoever is powerful, that planet becomes the significator of mother. Now, depending on how powerful the planets are, if they are extremely powerful, sthira means fixed, right? That is the fixity for how long the people are staying in your life, right? So, stronger between Sun and Venus will become the significator of father, and the more powerful they are, father lives for more number of years in the native's life, right? So, you say it can be the case that Venus is combust and debilitated, and Sun is also debilitated, it cannot become combust. So in this case, because Sun is only debilitated, not combust, and Venus is combust, debilitated both, Sun becomes powerful. Sun signifies the father, but Sun itself is debilitated also. So keeping this in mind, father still have a short life, right? This way it should be decided. For other karakas, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, there is no confusion as such. They become sthira karak for different things. Just notice that in Venus's sthira karaks, spouse I have not written, right? So keep that in mind. So Sthira Karaka indicates fixity. More powerful these planets are, for more number of years, these people stay in your life, right? That is one thing. This is based on the first opinion, right? Opinion of stronger. The second opinion of day birth versus night birth is based on love and support. and relatives. Love and support primarily. So for someone born in daytime, sun signifies the father, and if sun is powerful, father loves and supports you. Venus is powerful, mother loves and supports you. Moon is powerful, maternal uncle aunt loves and supports you. Saturn is powerful, paternal uncle and aunt support you for day birth. For night birth, Saturn is powerful, father loves and support you. Sun is powerful, paternal uncle aunt loves and support you. Moon is powerful, mother loves and support you. Venus is powerful, maternal uncle and aunt support you. The same goes with other karakas also, right? So Mars is powerful, brother, sister, brother-in-law, sister-in-law loves and support you. Mercury is powerful, maternal uncle and aunt love and support you. But in this scenario, for maternal uncle aunt, paternal uncle aunt, the signification was already distributed to Sun, Saturn, Venus, and Moon. So do not bother with this category in rule number 2, right? And love support from mother-in-law, father-in-law, maternal grandparents, etc., should be seen with respect to Venus. So these are two opinions here where this should be seen. Now here comes a very important point. See, house lord, ninth house lord will indicate father. In the house, ninth house will indicate father. And in significator setup, sun is taken to be significator of father. However, you have already learned that ninth house significator is Jupiter also. One should understand this point very clearly, that Jupiter, because Jupiter, so here comes the Sthira Karaka of the, so house significatorship is there, fixed significatorship, what is known as Sthira Karaka is there, and natural significatorship of the planet, that is known as Naisargika Karaka of the planet, is also there. So house wise, ninth house is lorded by both Sun and Jupiter. Fixed Karak for father will be either Sun or Venus or Saturn, depending on which method you are using. And natural significator for father will be Sun itself. So natural significator of father is more or less Sun. First of all, fixed significator is used for longevity, love and support only, right? So keep it very clear. Longevity, love, support. Based on the two methods I have just told you, right? So it is not good to predict based on the condition of the ninth lord regarding the love support of father, etc. Because love support is more decided by the fixed karak, right? This should be very, very clear. What I have also noticed, see, from my experience, what I will tell you, when it comes to analyzing about others, relatives for that matter, when it comes to analyzing about relatives, significator is a better reliance. When it comes to analyzing about things related to self, house lord is better relied upon. So when it comes to mother, father, sibling, etc., better to see the significator. Because significator more or less decides how the result is going to be. So third house, third lord is not in a good condition, but Mars is in a good condition. You will generally see that the person have good love support, etc., from the siblings, right? Because it is others. Self-related things that comes from the third house, valor, courage, risk taking, etc., that depends on the third house, third lord, right? Which works similarly, right? So when you have to see the planet as, when you have to see relatives or others, better to rely on significators. When you have to see things related to the self, better to rely on house lord. That is the particular reason I told you, when you want to see about spouse, wife, husband, take it as seventh lord, right? Because wife, husband, spouse, or say your marriage, not a spouse as an individual, but a spouse as a spouse, right? Your marriage depends on seventh lord. When you want to see spouse as an individual, when you want to see spouse as a person, you rely on significator, right? This particular difference is there. So this also goes with children also. You see what child is called? Child is called Atmaj. Atmaj is born of self. So if you want to see how much nature, behavior, character of the native the child will inherit, how much born of self reflection of self the child will be, that will be signified by fifth lord. You see Jupiter when you want to see the child as an individual, right? Child as an individual, what they are doing, etc., etc., that Jupiter tells you, right? So this demarcation is there. That demarcation should be very clearly understood, right? So basic point that I am trying to say, that a father, the condition of father, nature, behavior, character, etc. of the father is better signified by the significator of the father, natural significator of father, that is son. Longevity, love, support from the father is better signified by fixed significator of father. With respect to house significator, as I told you, Jupiter is the prime significator for the ninth house, because prime thing related to ninth house is fortune only. And sun is not taken as the prime significator of the ninth house. It is only taken as secondary significator of ninth house. And I believe it is done because sun is taken as a significator of a ninth house only because of father, and because that can be analyzed from other sources also, right? It's not necessarily important to analyze, sun as a significator of ninth house, right? That's why it is called a secondary karak. So my prime importance, my prime thing will be that when you are analyzing a house, right, and when you are taking the significator as a significator of the house, right, take it as, first of all, take it only when there is a, you know, when there is a mixed result, right? When the result is a tie. For example, seventh house, the significator is Venus, and the significator of spouse is also Venus. While analyzing the seventh house, as I told you, primarily focus on seventh house, seventh lord, and only when it is a trie, go to Venus. Otherwise, don't go to Venus. Otherwise, go to Venus only when you want to see spouse as an individual person, spouse in their own right, right? And in that particular scenario, when you want to see spouse and an individual, the concept of the society and all other things that I talked about earlier, then you go and see Venus, right? But that, I believe, should be a separate analysis and should not be included while analyzing the house until and unless there is a tie. This is a very strong opinion, right? So go with this. That's one point. Fixed karakas, as we understood, indicate for how long we are going to enjoy the result of the significators, etc., right? Regarding chair karakas and how to analyze the chair karakas, I have recently made a video on Hindi channel in Hindi, so you can go watch that. In English channel also, maybe sometime we can make the video, but leave chair karak for the time being. Apart from that, Naisargika Karak, what is called as natural Karak. Sun is naturally the significator of kingdom, coral, red clothes, ruby, forest, mountains, father, influence, purity, valor, good health, wealth, knowledge, soul. Sun significator of coral, what I have written, I know what I have written. Moon is the significator of mother, mind, health, fragrance, juices, sugarcane, wheat, watery liquids, salty things, Brahmins, power, grains, silver, name, fame, happiness, enjoyment, luster. Fragrance is also, fragrance and perfumes is also signified by Sun and Venus as well. Mars signifies sattva, not sattvic guna, but sattva, right? Staying true to your dharma is what sattva is. That is signified by Mars. Home, land, mind, child, character, disease, Brahman, right? Brahman as in the pure Brahman, right? The soul, the concept of soul. Sibling, valor, fire, courage, kingdom, enemy, victory, argument, leadership, punishment, wounds, accident, sister, younger siblings, daughter's husband is signified by Mars. Astrology, maternal uncle, mathematics, dance, doctors, laughing, fear, goddess Lakshmi, crafts, discrimination, speaking abilities, children, peace, modesty, power, cousins, and kinsmen are signified by Mercury. Karmas, everything that the native does. Yajna, fire, sacrifice, gods, Brahmins, learned men, wealth, home, silver, children, friends, agitation, knowledge, resources, property, intellectual abilities, spiritual power, accomplishments, mantra, siddhi, etc. Royal grandeur, elephants, vehicle, pilgrimage is indicated by Jupiter. Spouse, bow, happiness, singing, flower, youthful nature, youthful people, ornaments, silver, vehicle, heaven, pearl, affluence, poetry, juices, sexuality, business, beautiful clothes, music, artistic talents, Vashikaran, controlling someone is Vashikaran. Right? People come under your influence, they try to do anything to please you. This is what Vashikaran is. Garudi Vidya is things like astrology, right? Things which work. We do not know how it works, but it works, right? That is Garudi Vidya. Anima, etc. 8 type of Aishwarya, Anima, Lagima, Mahima, right? Ishit, Vashit, Prakam, such, right? Riddhi Siddhis are there, right? In Hanuman Chalisa it is told, no, Ashta Siddhi Navaniddhi ke data. So those Ashta Siddhis are also indicated by Venus. Father, father-in-law, mother-in-law is indicated by Venus. Saturn indicates buffalo, horses, elephants, oil, clothes, makeup, travel, all type of royal happiness, all type of weapons, travel for warfare. Shudra, serving class, blue sapphire, obstructions, hair, operation, pain, servants, longevity is indicated by Saturn. Snake, night, hidden treasures, gambling, fame, status, paternal grandparents are indicated by Rahu. And wounds, boils, pimples, skin diseases, hunger, maternal grandparents are indicated by Ketu. These are natural significations. Natural significations, why you analyze a natural signification? What do you do with natural signification? This is important. I always say one thing, many a times people have this particular confusion that, sir, if Jupiter is sixth lord and it is influencing a planet, whether it will produce bad result being sixth lord or it will create good result being Jupiter. I always say one thing, that there is no discrimination. There is no, opposition between house result and significator result. 80% of the time it is not. So say Jupiter is influencing Venus as sixth lord. So Jupiter, what Jupiter indicates? Jupiter indicates karmas, right? So major karma related to spouse is there. Jupiter indicates yagya. Yagya is also major karma. So major karma related to spouse will be there. Right? Jupiter indicates Brahman. So spouse will have Brahminical tendencies. Jupiter indicates wealth. Spouse will be wealthy. Jupiter indicates home. So one will be able to acquire home with the help of spouse. Right? Jupiter indicates children. One will certainly have children from spouse. Jupiter indicates friends. One will have friendly relationship from spouse. Spouse will be knowledgeable. Spouse will be resourceful. Spouse will have multiple properties. Spouse will have good intellectual abilities. Spouse will have spiritual power. Spouse will have accomplishments. Spouse will have royal grandeur. Spouse will have good vehicle. And spouse will love to go on pilgrimage. These results will come because this is naturally signified by Jupiter. So when a planet is connected to any house or any other planet, whatever is naturally signified by the planet, that result they also give to the connected house or planet they are connected to. This is one thing. But apart from that, Jupiter also becomes the lord of sixth house. What does the sixth house indicate? Enmity, competition, disease. So as a result, a spouse will, there will also be enmity with a spouse. There will also be competition with a spouse. There will also be diseases to spouse. Now there will be one point. It was told that a spouse is friends. One is friends with spouse. I am telling that there is enmity with spouse. Friends and enmity cannot happen together. This result is contradictory result. Contradictory results should be cancelled. In astrology, if a same planet is producing contradictory result, then it will not be able to produce the result, right? So the influence of Jupiter over Venus, the spouse is neither friendly nor inimical, right? If Jupiter is sixth lord and influencing the Venus, the spouse is neither friendly nor inimical, right? Because contradictory result, it is cancelling. But apart from that, if Jupiter is influencing Venus, but not as the lord of sixth house, then certainly there will be a friendly relationship between the spouse and the native, right? So contradictory results are cancelled and other non-contradictory result stands to the ground and fructifies. This is the basic funda. This is the basic setup that we understand. Okay, this is one point. So natural signification is very important in this particular regard, that we know how the planet works. Natural significations are natural traits that the planet carries, and any house, planet, etc. the planet is connected with, they give their natural signification based result to all the house planets, etc. they are connected with, right? That's the one basic point, right? Second basic point is, see, Saturn is connected to 8th house. What type of death Saturn can produce? All weapon is indicated by Saturn. So wound from weapon, attack from weapon, etc. can be produced by Saturn. And death because of the same will be produced by Saturn because it is connected to 8th house. Saturn also indicates disease that I have not written. Right? Because signification, natural significations of planets are many. Right? So 20, 30 pages of results of signification of each and every planet can be written. Right? This will come from experience. Right. So it also indicates disease, right? So Saturn is connected to 8th house. Person generally dies because of wound, as in the case of Mahatma Gandhi, or dies because of diseases, right? Disease is a signification that we already know, so that I have not written. All weapon is a new signification for many, I believe, so that I have written. Right. So natural signification of the planet is something that the planet adds extra. This is one point. And secondarily, you see, as I told initially also, sun indicates kingdom. If sun is powerful, one have big kingdom. One have kingdom actually. If sun is weak, one do not have a kingdom. Right? Sun indicates influence. If sun is powerful, one is influential, otherwise not. Sun indicates purity. If sun is powerful, one is pure, otherwise not. Sun indicates valor. If sun is powerful, one becomes valorous, otherwise not. Sun indicates good health. If sun is powerful, one have good health, otherwise not. Sun indicates wealth. If sun is powerful, one is wealthy, otherwise not. Sun indicates knowledge. If the sun is powerful, one is knowledgeable, otherwise not. Sun indicates the soul. If sun is powerful, one is concerned about his soul, spiritual progress, etc. The knowledge is also spiritual knowledge. And if sun is not powerful, then one is not considering anything about their own soul, neither consider other people as being souls, right? So strong sun people will always have an approach. We are humans, others are also humans. Let treat everyone in a human way, humanitarian way. Weak sun, they believe themselves to be the king. Afflicted sun, weak sun, they believe themselves to be the king and other people to be animals, right? So three type of things are there, right? Natural signification. There are some results from natural signification. Planet is connected to house another planet. They will produce result related to natural signification. As the planet become powerful, things from natural signification which have to be present there, right? Every person will have more or less level of influence. Every person will have health. Every person will have wealth. Every person will have knowledge. Every person will be conscious about soul, whether in small or larger quantities, right? That small or larger quantity depends on the strength otherwise of the planet, but these things everyone have. And as the natural significator the planet becomes powerful, these things become better, improved of a high quantity. And if the planet is not powerful, then these things don't are not present in high quantity, are not present in high quality. There are compromise with respect to these things, right? This is one setup. The things related to natural signification also becomes useful in remedies. For example, sun indicates coral, ruby, red clothes, right? So wearing red cloth, wearing coral, wearing ruby, donation of these things will be a good remedy for sun, right? In the same manner, for other planets can also be seen, right? For example, for moon, fragrance can be donated, juices can be donated, particularly sugarcane juice can be donated, wheat can be donated, watery liquids can be donated, salty things can be donated, donations can be made to Brahmins, silver can be donated, etc. For Mars, land can be donated, donation should be made to siblings, right? Donations related to fire, fire sacrifice should be done, right? These things should be donated. In the same manner, natural significations also become very useful in remedies as well. There is one more important thing. For example, see, sun indicates forests and mountain. Now, if sun is connected to fourth house indicates home and property. But what type of home and property sun is supposed to give? Because sun indicates forests and mountain, right? Property in forests, around mountains, farmhouse, etc. It is supposed to indicate either one will have such property only, or one will want to live around such places. One will have desire to retire to the forests or mountains, etc. Right? So natural significations become very, very important because they indicate the type of result the planet will produce while being connected with the different houses and different planets. When the planets are powerful, the things naturally indicated by the planet becomes strong, prominent, and when they are weak, the thing indicated by the planet is also present in lesser quantity, low quality, right? And based on the natural significations also, remedies related to the planet should be made. Now see, remedy related to planet you cannot make based on house lord. So there is no specific remedy for seventh house lord, right? There will always be seventh house lord will be a planet. If seventh house lord is Saturn, you will have to give remedy of Saturn, and that will be based on natural signification of Saturn only, right? There is no natural signification of seventh lord as such, right? So when it comes to finding the remedy, you will always have to resort to natural signification of the planet only. However, while predicting the result, you will have to take natural signification also and house lordship based result as well, right? This thing should be clearly understood. Regarding Karak itself, you see, the topic is so big that I can also do a 4-day webinar on it, right? What are the different things signified by different planets and how to use it and all sort of things. But do not to make the video very long, right? I think I have told everything important in nutshell. You will listen to the video over and over again, understand it, make notes, and use it in your analysis. Then you will be able to understand the power of the significator and how to use it properly, which I have clearly told in this video, I believe. Right. Thank you.